Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to take two on this one, as my first video didn't come out for some reason. Picked up this little Ruger 22, 7722 and 22 Hornet at the right price. I've actually been after one of these for a very, very long time. I put a scope on him and tried him at 63 meters. And we have here, this is for sandbags, 10 shots of factory PPU and 10 shots of Sell It and Bellow, both 45 grain soft points. Actually look like exactly the same projectile, so very similar groups. I'll try it to start with. I pulled him apart and I thought, well, I'll just see what it shoots before I even start looking at doing anything with it. Surprise, surprise, it's been, there was a burr on the crown, which unfortunately in take one, which the video didn't come out, I have recrowned it now to 11 degree target crown, so it's a bit easier to clean. Everything else is the same. It's been bedded. Not a bad job at all, really, in the big scheme of things, but no pillars in there whatsoever. So undoing the screws, there was still a bit of crush in the screws, so not good. But the biggest problem is 77, 22s and 17s, recoil lug is this back area here, back here, right? That's where it should be hard up against the stock. And whoever did the bedding has really missed the brief. Look at that, I don't know if you can see that gap down in there between the stock and the recoil lug. As Maxwell Smart would say, missed it by that much. So doesn't really help your bedding issue if your recoil lug isn't bedded in. And yeah, had some minor trigger issues as well. You can see where they've had compound down in here and they've ground it back out again. So yeah, didn't really understand the brief. That aside, we'll go to the next thing. I had a few trigger issues. A few bolt issues as well. Not that it's been played with, but I mean, headspace looks alright, but yeah, extractor won't hold the case in. It leaves it sit on top of the magazine. So that needs to be sorted. As far as bolts concerned, we'll need to do something about that. And I'll probably put an oversized bolt knob on it, because I've literally only got the knob to hang on to. I've got nothing else to hang on to, because it's the scope comes to here, so it's like so I'll put one of my oversized bolt knobs on it. That's the bolt issue sorted. But it would sometimes not cock at all, and I don't know if you can see that in there. Try and get it to focus again. It's an atrocious trigger spring. Look at that. That is bad. Okay, so let's pull that out of there and try and get it a bit more centered. Pull that pin out. Container to put the bits in so I don't lose them. What's that? Trigger spring. OMG. What the hell? That is not good. Please, guys and girls, if you don't know what you're doing, leave triggers alone. You'll end up killing somebody. And this isn't good either. Someone's idea of doing a trigger job. This section here, the front, is parallel. And quite often with the Ruger triggers, you'll find what we call positive angle. Lay it across the top there. You can see that the angle is higher, so it actually bites into the sear on the cocking piece. Now, I get them to a neutral angle, so there's no compression. So basically, with a positive angle, when you're squeezing the trigger, you're actually cocking the firing pin a little bit as it pivots up. Right, as a zero angle, it's straight. This has been given a negative angle, which I'm not surprised. It's got that stupid big ass spring that they've overstretched. So not only have they given it an angle, they've also taken that off. I mean, seriously? And you can see where the sear has been rubbing on here. That hasn't even been touched either. So if you're going to do these trees, you know what you're doing. Polish to a mirror finish. Get it at zero angle, not positive or negative, zero. And polish this surface too. Why? Because the sharp edge that you've got sitting on here, tripping off, is rubbing on that every time it goes down. And that is quite rough. And that'll eventually wear that edge away. So I dare say once I've corrected that, I'm going to have to put a bit of weld on here for the safety. Let's stop focusing. So that the safety actually works. We'll worry about that after I've done all this corrections. Now let's have a look at this other piece. We'll push this pin out. Get the cocking piece out of the sear. There we go. Oh my god. Oh dear. Look at that. It's been... Focus again. See that? Instead of being parallel, it's on an angle this way. There's so little engagement. I'm not surprised they try to fix their cock-ups with an extra heavy spring. That was just an accident waiting to happen. And look, guys, I can only say, if you don't know what you're doing, please leave it alone and take it to someone who does, because an incorrectly configured trigger will kill somebody if you're not careful. I mean, that is not even, if you look at that there, it's not even square across here. It's on an angle. Oh, you can see that. Yeah. Not good. It's going to be a bit of grinding and not to fix that. I'll take the spring and bolt release out. And I'll remove the safety lever. Just be careful you don't lose your little D-dent underneath that when you take them off. We don't want to lose that. It's the little D-dent. You don't want to lose that bit. And our spring, so that's good. Yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. The bore's okay. It's typical Ruger. I found quite a bit of marks in the bore. Plenty of rifling. Hasn't done a lot of work. Plenty of rifling still. But there are rings in the bore going down, like and radial rings and cold hammer forging and whatnot. But that's all good. Standard Hornet. I've got my little triple 2 bore 22K Hornet stainless barrel to go on. 5/8 with 24 for a tuner brake. Got to crown it yet, and of course I've got to thread it. So that's a 22 inch and these are 24. So it'll be a bit shorter. I want to put my tuner brake on there. It'll be about the same length. I'll dial that in. So I'm going to be using it for a little bit of hunting. But before I put that barrel in, we'll actually pull this barrel out. I did crack it loose before because I was concerned about this bedding being in and around the thread. You can see there's a lot of bedding compound that's gone into the threads. I've got to tap and run that through. So that'll be good at some point. We'll get that sorted. But, that's the stock. We'll put that barrel back in and lock it in after I've cleaned the receiver up. And I've already marked it. I don't know if you can see a scribe mark along here. See it there? Where I've marked it, I'm going to free float it completely. But I'm going to have to pull this bedding compound out, all of it out completely out, and start again with a couple of pillars, and then do the bedding properly as it should have been done in the first place. Yeah, you can do the center section, but bring it out a bit. And of course, you don't really need to do the barrel section on that. That front tang section is all that's needed. Barrel section doesn't require it. Just have the barrel 100% free floating, because in the action there's plenty of room there for the pillars and the bedding compound. A little bit different from the 22 version. They've got that extension on there where the screw hole is, because I think this is shorter, to be honest with you. So hole spacings is probably the same, but the gap in here is a bit bigger. Alright guys, we'll leave it at that. Hopefully the video came through properly, and we'll do all these little things that we need to do, and then we'll try again and just see if we can get a better group out of this thing, and trigger job done properly, bedding job done properly, proper recoil lug area, and yeah, go from there. Cheers.